Welcome to the Paradise Paradox. My name is Aaron Battle.
My name's Kurt Robinson.
We find ourselves today here in Mexico City, Tierra de los Chilangos, para el evento Labitconf, the Latin American Bitcoin conference, which for the first time in Mexico, 300 seats, all sold out, 40 plus international Bitcoin speakers. So there's going to be a lot of knowledge, a lot of content delivered today. And we're lucky enough to get here and absorb some of that.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to hearing, especially Andreas Antonopoulos. I'm big fan of his speeches and videos. He's just the kind of guy, the professional speaker who really engages the audience and talks about the ways that this technology is going to change it. So I'm hoping we can catch a minute of his time and try to ask him some pressing questions. I've never actually heard him answer what his if he has any particular political views, but I'm curious, like if he's an anarcho-capitalist or a classical liberal or something like that. Actually, I think if we ask him the question, I don't think he'll answer, but it might say a lot if he doesn't.
Smart man. What's going to be interesting today is be asking some questions. I see there's content here on regulation and how it's going to affect a lot of the new enterprises and companies that are being developed with the blockchain technology and producing solutions with the new technology. I know that here in Mexico, I can see there's a big presence with fintech. There's a lot of absorption. The banking system looks very eager to adopt some of this technology, which I think is very exciting for the industry as well as the survival of some of the companies that operate in the banking industry. I think it's crucial that they understand regulation and that the government's working in hand also accommodate the rules for Bitcoin. It's going to be it's a changing world. It's going to be very different. So considering it's so early, it's great to see that there's so many companies that are making presence today, and they're going to talk about the product solutions they're bringing forward.
Yeah, so I think Mexico's doing pretty well. I mean, it's like 5 exchanges in Mexico, 5 Bitcoin exchanges, something like that.
At least.
Yeah. So I think we'll get a chance to talk to Jose Rodriguez of Bitso as well. And so he's been talking to the Mexican Central Bank and the government about using some kind of digital peso, like a cryptocurrency peso for Mexico. And to me, it's kind of it's this paradox because the thing is, the central bank prints the peso, or they monopolize the peso, and so they have control of this fiat currency. But if they have something like a cryptocurrency, if they're using Bitcoin or a digital peso, they don't have so much control over it anymore if they set it up in the right way. So it kind of makes me curious, like why would a central bank actually want to get in bed with the competition? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think we need to see it as competition directly. I think it appears that way because of the way that the money system distributes wealth, the way they're set up at the moment, and the regulation's always been to, or in this case, to support more types of traditional banking. Where if they're going to give the control away, I think it's something that like an evolutionary process. I don't think anyone really knows what's going to happen to central banking or to the central banks or to the big banks that are in play. But if they're able to join with the digital peso and allow that kind of liquidity and fluidity between business, I think there's potential that everyone can grow out of this. I think that the technology is going to free up and redistribute wealth in ways that it's too hard to fathom at the moment.
Yeah, but still, it still seems like a weird thing to me because it kind of seems like if the Mexican Central Bank does this, it's almost like they're doing something altruistic against their own position. But on the other hand, I wonder if it's like a kind of power play against the U.S. dollar, like trying to knock down this U.S. dollar domination that's existed for the last, well, how long has it been? About 100 years, I suppose, probably more.
Yeah, I can see how that makes sense. I think that's a big concern because I mean at the moment we are playing with one international accepted currency, but I think as soon as more banking institutions are happy to accept alternatives, then it's going to free up what at the moment is very limited by geographical boundaries. Like country to country, we're all bound by our internal fiat currencies. What it's going to do for international trade, and I mean international trade for the individuals and companies, is going to be only positive, only beneficial. However, I mean, I think of examples, being interested in regulation and how that affects the industry. I like the way that you do have a traditional system and then this emerging modern, we can say emerging system, how they are working together, as opposed to perhaps what's happening in New York with regarding the bit licenses. And here we can see where there are exchanges here in Mexico that don't need to abide by these regulations and compliance. However, it's in their best interest not to be causing any issues or to prevent any future negative repercussions. And in turn, their only action is to literally block IP addresses from the US that want to participate in the exchanges here in Mexico, which is sad for citizens of the United States that are now missing an opportunity to be able to move money around, which essentially should be their money and they should be allowed to do whatever they want with their wealth. However, they've got no access to the service because of localized regulation.
Yeah, the good thing is it kind of with Bitcoin more and more it doesn't matter. So of course you have these regulations like FATCA, and you were mentioning before these Bitcoin licenses. So you need a license from the U.S. government to trade with U.S. citizens. But the thing is, more and more they're popping up these Bitcoin ATM cards. And so if you can buy Bitcoin, which you can do, on local Bitcoins or, any one of these exchanges, or, just from friends or whatever, some way that, well, I guess if you're a US citizen, you might have to avoid the exchanges and use something like local Bitcoin, but you can still buy them. And then you can have a lot more control over your money, and nobody can really say what you can do with them once you've got them.
Yeah, just thinking of a few examples of that. BitNation has their Visa Bitcoin powered card. There's also WageCan. It's another international card. I think that's with Visa as well. And CoinJar, originally from Australia, which I think moved to London now. They've implemented Stripe, which is the same thing. Basically a Visa debit card that's connected to a back end powered by Bitcoin that gives you direct access to money or direct access to your wealth wherever you are in the world, which allows you to work any ATM, any purchases. It's pretty comfortable.
And does that one? I don't know if the CoinJar one works anywhere in the world. I thought it was only for Australia.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think CoinJar is only in Australia, but that's only a short-term measure. I mean, once they're connected to, you have a card connected to Visa. Or MasterCard. I mean, these cards are accepted anywhere, almost.
Except at the tianguis, except at the market, except at like 90% of the commerce in Mexico. But ahí la lleva.
Just go to an ATM, use cash.
Yeah. Cool. Did you have any other notes? Okay, it's all good. All right. So we're here eating at this cafe called Raimunda on calle Dinamarca. I recommend the Chilequiles Gourmet. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you soon. We'll bring you some more updates. Peace. Thanks so much for listening, guys. And that was just a brief intro to the Latin American Bitcoin conference. So we brought a lot of interviews from that one. So we'll be releasing those over the next couple of weeks, showing you some interviews from Andreas Antonopoulos, the Bitcoin rock star, Jeff Berwick, known as the Dollar Vigilante from the dollarvigilante.com, and also Diego Gutierrez Zaldivar, who's working on a project called Sistema D, or System D, which is like a project to help impoverished communities through Latin America using Bitcoin. So that's a very exciting project. Also, we got a chance to interview past Paradise Paradox guest Juan Galt, who gave us a little of his journalistic insight on the conference there. So that'll be coming soon. So there's a heads up. Keep watching. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep the eyes on the back of your head open, as wide open as your third eye, because we're going to be projecting forward to you with giant spiritual insight, giant capitalistic entrepreneurialism that's going to blow your mind into several billion pieces. Also, so you know that Bitcoin is very important for liberty-minded people these days, modern-minded, liberty-minded people. But what is even better is the Acapulco conference in Acapulco next year. So the one that we went to this year in 2015 was amazing. It was brilliant. You get so much sense of community, a sense of that people want to look out for each other, and they're thinking entrepreneurially, how they can start helping others and make money from that as well. And so the vibe at this year's event was just incredible. I've never been to an event like it, and I don't think there is another event like it. Of course, there are liberty-focused events in the US like Libertopia and Porkfest, but this is specifically an event for anarchists or voluntarists, people who want to remove the state from the equation and see how we can better humanity beyond that. And I remember a moment at this year's event during the closing speech where Jeff Berwick got up and he started to say, and it started to tear up a little bit, he started to say that the reason he wants the world to be free, the reason he wants to get rid of government, is because he doesn't want his children to grow up in a world of wars, poverty, and destruction caused by governments. And if that's something that resonates with you, then you'll probably want to come along to next year's event coming up in February 2016. And so go ahead on anarchapulco.com, anarchapulco.com, and you can get your tickets. You get 10% off if you use the promotional code PARADISE. So go ahead and use that code PARADISE, 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 and get that 10% off. Get your ticket. Come join us. Come say hi. Shake our hands. We're ready to meet you, and we hope you do come and meet us and have a good time there as well. So we'll talk to you soon. Stay in touch. And remember, on the website we have some T-shirts where you can buy these T-shirts that say "Real Money" and it has pictures of gold, silver, and Bitcoin. They look really cool, so go grab one. So you can see the link there on the paradiseparadox.com. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Press like on YouTube, press like on Facebook, and subscribe on